Recording. Go ahead.
All right, good morning, everybody. Lorenzo Lasater, for any that don't know me, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy days, hopefully busy days, to join us on a cold day. We've got an exciting product I want to share with you. I'm happy to be joined by Andy Baechel, who represents Direct Mail 2.0. That's our service provider for this exciting technology, and he's going to go lead us through most of the technological stuff. But I just wanted to say thank you for being here. Company printing got in the printing business will be 29 years ago this summer, and we got in the mailing business about 20 years ago. And we've seen a lot of changes in direct mail through that time. And when email came along, direct mail was going to die, and it's managed to survive that because the targeting ability with direct mail keeps bringing people back. And when the social media revolution came on, Facebook was going to kill direct mail, and it keeps coming back because of the ability to target. But what's magical about what you're going to see today is the ability to blend those two things together. And we're real excited about what we're seeing with the technology. We've used it ourselves in our own marketing, and there's some pretty remarkable stuff. The first time I saw this was at a conference 2 years ago in January, a year and a half ago in January. And I couldn't believe it that it was possible to do some of the things you're about to see. Like, it's what you would think you'd want to do, but you wouldn't be able to figure it out. Well, these guys have figured it out, so we're proud to partner with them. Again, thank you for being here. I'm going to turn it over to Andy, and he's going to show you what we're talking about.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Our main focus while I'm talking about this is always going to be based around mail. We want to make mail the most effective form of marketing that you can possibly do. And like you mentioned just a moment ago, some people get kind of a negative connotation around mail sometimes, but it's mainly focused around their own personal interactions with mail. They think that they go to the mailbox and they grab their mail, they're looking at bills, and then they get a junk mail kind of mentality. But the average consumer sees between 4 and 10,000 marketing messages every single day. And this is why the beauty of direct mail and the consistency of it has been working so effectively for 100 years now, basically, making sure that we're getting our marketing in front of people. And when I say 4 to 10,000 marketing messages every day, I'm talking commercials, radio ads, and swag that's on T-shirts and cups and things. You're inundated with your marketing. And when we start thinking about how to make sure that we're marketing the most effective as we can, we need to look at channels that are actually getting in front of our audience and getting in front of them consistently and effectively. The average human attention span is only about 8 seconds. And this is an old graphic. You get 35 emails for every one piece of mail that you get. And that's a graphic from like 2 years ago when I started presenting this thing. It's probably an even greater disparity these days. But the most important part of direct mail and why it's so effective is direct mail has a 92% open rate. It's got a 92% visibility rate. So, regardless of what your reactions to it and how you treat it, you still have to physically touch a piece of mail. Hopefully, you're putting it on the refrigerator with a magnet so that you can react to it later. But even if your reaction to a piece of mail is to throw it away almost immediately, you still have to physically touch it. And that's the beauty of it, because direct mail takes about 35% less cognitive effort to process than any form of digital marketing. You can memorize logos and brand names. You can memorize calls to action and images on a postcard in the amount of time that it takes to throw it away. So it's leveraging the way that we process our information. Direct mail still consistently outperforms all digital channels. All digital channels combined, if you're doing some kind of a multimedia campaign, you're looking on an average response rate of about 0.62%. But direct mail, if you're working with a customer list where you know if it's a customer or a prospect list, you can look at a 10 to a 15% engagement rate. If it is a strictly prospect list and it's a cold list, we're still looking about a 1% engagement rate. And when we integrate some other forms of marketing, when we collaborate our efforts and bring them together, we can see an enhancement of 23 to 46% in response rates to those direct mail campaigns. How we're doing this is creating an omni-channel marketing approach on top of your direct mail. Omnichannel is a big buzzword, and I'm going to show you some examples of it here in just a moment. But the way that omnichannel works is we want to turn a single piece of mail into multiple impressions across multiple different platforms, but we want to maintain the same audience. That's how it's going to differ. That's how it's leveraged with direct mail. We want to start with your mailing list, and we want to identify the people that are on that mailing list and make sure that the correct people are seeing the correct images. We don't want to just send our message out into the atmosphere and hope that it's being received. We want to start with a concise, concentrated message that is going to be consistent all the way throughout all of the channels that we're talking about today. We effectively want to find the digital footprint of the people that are on your mailing list and make sure that the correct people are going to react to our images, not just that there are people. So most businesses are familiar with some sort of a multi-channel campaign. And that's where you're starting with you as a business. You're starting with your product and your services, and then you're focusing on ways to get you in front of as many people as you can. With omnichannel marketing, we're starting with the consumer. We want to identify your best target audience and then find a way to get you in front of those people with a seamless experience across multiple channels so we can have everything more concise and we know who our audience is. So we have 13 technologies that we can leverage to make our mail campaigns work even better than they already do. And those 13 technologies, they're spread out amongst 3 unique job styles. And the job styles that we would use, we're going to focus on one more than the rest, but the job styles, they're deployed based on a unique campaign need. What is the goal? What is the call to action for your business? Why are you marketing? Are you marketing to spread the word? Do you want as many impressions? Do you want as many engagements as you can possibly get? We've got a solution for that. Do you want to focus 100% on your mailing list? Do you have more of a niche product where it can't be sold to anybody if they're not on the mailing list? We've got a campaign for that as well. But the campaign that we focus on the most often, it splits the difference between the two of those. This is our standard MailMax campaign, and it's 8 technologies. It's meant to turn your mail into an additional 8 to 16 impressions and give you a lift in your responses. This is not an a la carte package. This is the way that this campaign works. All 8 of these technologies are going to be included on every single piece of mail that we're going to deliver for you for one price. We also run our campaigns for 30 total days. That we can extend it. We don't often recommend abbreviating it, but we have platforms where we can extend it for multiple months if you've got ongoing campaigns. If you want to convert something into a digital only, we definitely have options for that. But our goal is to turn one single impression in a mailbox into a 30-day integrated digital campaign that still focuses on your business, on your logos, on your calls to action, and creates a better reach. We're going to start on social media. Anytime I say social media, I mean Facebook and Instagram specifically. That's where our world lives right now as far as the best places to get our advertising out. So Social Match, we're going to take your mailing list and we are going to load that to Facebook, to Meta. We are going to find the social media accounts of the people that are on your mailing list. So this is a one-to-one communication. We're not just throwing spaghetti against the wall and sending our message out and then hope that people are reacting to it. I'm looking for Andy, Lorenzo, Bo. I'm looking for a very specific group of people. I'm identifying their social media accounts. We're recreating your postcard and making sure that it gets in front of the people that we are expecting. We want a concentrated message. We are going to track every single piece of mail that you send out. And this is really, really important. It's got a couple of really great benefits to it. First and foremost, it proves to you that we're doing our work. You don't ever have to wonder, Are my mail pieces still sitting on your warehouse floor? Are they sitting in a post office somewhere? We can prove definitively that they went from point A to point B, and we can confirm the deliveries in actual mailboxes. Now, one of the huge benefits of doing a mail tracking campaign and actually tracking things from start to finish is confirming deliveries can help you more effectively manage some of your external outflow. I want to take advantage again of that memorization, of that cognitive effort, the ability to memorize a piece of mail and logos and brand names. So let's say you're doing an email campaign. We're not going to do an email campaign for you, but if you're going to email every single person that's on that mailing list, wait until the mail gets delivered. When we tell you on our dashboard, we delivered 5,000 pieces, they arrived in mailboxes on January 8th, set an email campaign to go out on the 9th or the 10th. You can reference it, put it in the subject line. We sent you a postcard earlier in the week, and then put a picture of it in the email. We'd love to know if you got this. Can we help you deploy your campaign more effectively? Would you like to hear more about what it is that we do? Click the link below. I don't know how many of you on this call, on the webinar, are doing any dialing. A lot of home services like to call people and ask if you can help them. If you're referencing something that you know that they held in their hand at some point, that can make your cold call that much more effective. Rather than just saying, I'm Andy from Company Printing, will you please buy my product? It's, hi, I'm Andy from Company Printing. I sent you a postcard earlier in the week. I'd love to know if you got that. Did it get stuck on your secretary's desk? Is there any questions that I can help you with? And I'd love to talk to you about your direct mail campaigns. It's, how I would start that conversation off. That's an immediate, warmer introduction than just please buy my product. And it can help you with your external marketing efforts if we can promise you that those pieces ultimately arrive. So tracking the mail is going to give us some accountability. It shows you where it goes. It can help you with your outflow efforts as well. I think that QR codes are one of the top 5 most important elements of a postcard campaign in 2025. We have to look at the easiest way to identify your business. We want to make sure that people can get from your media, from your piece of mail to your website without any mistakes. I don't know what your business is, or if you have a unique name. If it's a niche where if they search your business, the algorithms might send them to something completely different. I don't know if you have a lot of heavy competition. You might be a small fish in a big pond, and you might get outbeat by algorithms where if they type in carpet cleaning in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, are you going to be the first one to come up? If that's the case, you could effectively be advertising for your competition. So using QR codes, giving people a way to immediately be on your website is more important now than it's ever been. We have 2 different types of QR codes that we can deploy. One is a static, and that's probably what you're familiar with. It's just a QR code. You can put it anywhere you want. It's going to be on the mail piece. You could put it on a cup. You could put it on the back of your business card. It's going to go where it's supposed to go. We can also do dynamic or personalized QR codes, where every single piece of mail that we send out is going to have a QR code that is unique to that mail. We will know it's not just going to be an amount of scans on those postcards. I'm going to know whether Andy or Lorenzo or Cheryl or Danielle scan those QR codes. So we're going to get some attribution back to that piece of mail. You'll be able to look. You can't scan a QR code on accident. It's a purposeful action that people have to take. You've got to get your camera out, and you have to scan that thing on purpose. We'll have the names of the people potentially that scan that QR code. So maybe they scanned it, but you can see on the website that they haven't converted. You then have the ability to potentially follow up with those people. So we're getting a lot of really good information with these things. We're going to include informed delivery on every mail campaign that goes out as well. For those of you that are not familiar with informed delivery, I highly recommend going and signing up. Go to USPS.gov. It is a free-to-use platform through the USPS. It sends you an email every single day, and it lets you know exactly what's going to be in your mailbox. It's a really, really cool system. The way that an informed delivery email comes, standard, is it's just going to take a photocopy. It's a black and white image. It's going to show you what's going to be in your mailbox, and it's really effective. What a MailMax campaign is going to do is add full color images inside of those. These are clickable. They will go directly to your website. People can interact with your mail. They can interact with your call to action directly from this email. So we're, again, turning it into more impressions. We're turning it into more ways for people to engage with your product. And this is, again, one-to-one communication. If they're not on your mailing list, they're not going to get this informed delivery. So we're super concentrated on who the message is getting delivered to. Now, the biggest benefit, the main reason why us as marketers should be doing informed delivery and doing these add-ons in our campaign is to potentially eliminate gatekeepers. A direct mail campaign being successful is about 90% based on your audience actually getting to hold that piece of mail. But if the teenage kid is throwing it away, or the spouse, you could potentially be missing out on an impression because it's not getting to your intended target. They're signed up for informed delivery. They get to see what's in their mailbox, even if they don't get to physically touch that thing. So we're more likely ensuring that your message is going to be received by the proper people. This is a great example of time sensitive. My mailbox is about 2 miles away from my front door at the front end of my little community that I live in. I check my mailbox about once every 2 weeks, but I check my informed delivery every single day so I know what's out there. So if you have a time-sensitive campaign where they need to react to it on a certain day, you're a flower shop and you're doing a Valentine's Day presentation here pretty soon where they have to react to it by Valentine's Day. If they don't get it in time, they're going to miss it. They get to react to it through informed delivery. And you guys are having a weather calamity right now. So not as many people are checking their mail, I assume, today as they would be in the next couple of weeks. So informed delivery is a huge value. Call tracking is really, really important for, again, gaining some attribution. We want to prove to you that our direct mail campaigns are working for you. So we want to get a unique phone number. Doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet except for on the mail pieces. That number is going to transfer over to your cell phone or your home office or wherever we want. You don't really have to change anything on your end. But the goal is to get some attribution. Your clients are under no obligation to A, tell you the truth, or B, understand how they got your information. So even if you as a business owner are asking the correct questions, how did you come across my business? Where did you hear about us? I'm a referral. My friend gave me your business card. I saw it on a park bench. I got it from a billboard. If they call the number that's on this piece of mail that we're sending out for you, there's no chance they got that number anywhere else on the planet except for our piece of mail. So we're going to know where our dollars are being the best well spent. There's specific campaigns where one close can mean the difference. If you're a roofer, if you're home services, you install one roof, that could be a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 campaign. Proving where that one individual close came from through call tracking can help prove that you're getting a proper return on investment on your marketing. The follow-up portion here that I'm going to speak about, this is the first time that we're going outside of the mailing list, even a little bit. Everything up till now has been 100% exclusive to the actual mailing list. This is where we're going to have to go outside of it just a little bit, but we're still keeping it super concentrated. We are going to use a simple pixel-based retargeting technology where we are going to identify website visitors. If they've been to your website and then they leave for any reason, we can identify their website browser and then we can show them display images on the Google Display Network. This is also a really good example of where our omnichannel marketing is going to come back into play, because we want to come over top of the the digital fatigue that people are experiencing. So we want to show them images on the Google Display Network that ideally they've seen several times. They've seen a postcard. They've seen it in their informed delivery. They've been to your website. They know your logo. They know your call to action. So when they see an ad online, we're creating a more clickable campaign, and you've got a better chance of them reacting to it, engaging and clicking on things if they're familiar with your business. So if we keep it exclusive to the website, we're going to get a huge, huge return and really good clicks. We're going to also follow up with them on social media. So I like social media follow-up for a pretty unique reason. Your Facebook feed and your Instagram feed are not unique to a device. They are unique to you. Your social media, your Facebook feed is exactly the same on this computer that you're watching this webinar on as it is on your mobile device. So if I'm using my workday to look up a nonprofit or a roofing company or a florist or whatever, later on in the evening, after dinner's been made and the kids are in bed, and I'm just vegging out watching a basketball game, scrolling through social media, you're going to see ads for a business that you are reacting to on a different device at a different time of the day. It's a really, really powerful way to get your message in front of people when and where they're going to be willing to engage with your product when they have the time. So our first social media was list based. The social match, you have to be on the list and we're identifying specific accounts. This one is more reactionary. If they've been to the website and they leave, we'll be able to identify their social media page and then follow up with them again. Now, lead match is really, really cool. All of the other things that I've talked about so far have been based on using a physical location. We want to use their mailing address to get them to go to a virtual place. Our goal in all of this is to get them to go to your website or to call. Lead match is going to do the reverse of that. It is going to use a website visit. It is going to use a digital visit to your website and then reverse engineer it and give you an actual physical location where those people live. We can identify home addresses of anonymous website visitors that have come to your website. This gives us a lot of really cool opportunities for follow-up. They can be added to a future campaign, a future mailing. They could get put in a drip file. You'd be able to follow up with them, and you can do a lot of things. But the key difference in why these are so important versus just other random addresses that you might be adding, you can do all of the market research in the world to try and figure out who your target audience is. Lead match, these addresses of the people that are on your website, they might fall outside of that realm. We don't know why, who, or where they came from, but we know that they were on your website. They're raising their hand and saying, I want to know more about your business. Will you please tell it to me? It's a really, really effective way at making sure that you're getting in front of people who might fall outside of the realm of what your typical audience might look like. One of my favorite examples is a nonprofit where you might identify somebody that's been on your website. They've never donated to your nonprofit before. And I know how strict nonprofits are on only marketing to previous donors. The very few nonprofit campaigns that I see coming through my platform are based on new donors. They're usually based on reaching out to existing donors and asking them for money again. But maybe somebody is on your website because their grandmother passed away earlier in the year. They've never donated to you, but their grandmother has for 30 years, and they want to make a memorial donation to your nonprofit organization, you know, kind of post-mortem. So that is a person that is interested in your business, and they shouldn't be excluded from your future marketing efforts. So there's a lot that we can do with these lead match. We call them leads. Now, that is my 8 technologies. That is our standard Mail Max campaign. It's 8 technologies. They're included. We like to refer to it kind of as a reverse sticker shock. This is far, far less expensive than you have in mind to be able to put all of these because we're leveraging all of those technologies together. We'd be happy to talk more about cost when we kind of get into things. That's my standard 8 technology campaign. That's what we do the absolute most of. Now, we have options to expand that. If you would like more impressions, if you would like more engagements, if you would like more people to view you, if you're running something that would be considered more of a branding campaign where everybody is a potential candidate to view your ads, we can do what's called a MailMax Plus campaign, and we add 4 additional technologies onto it. We keep the initial 8 that we just discussed. We're going to add these 4, and these are going to go outside of our list. But they're not going to go outside of our list in terms of geography and relevancy. So we're going to geo target the zip codes that you're mailing to. So we're basically going to put a pin in the zip codes that you're mailing to and draw a giant circle around it. And we are going to look for relevant devices. We want to look for every single cell phone, computer, tablet that has shown a reaction to our particular vertical. In our case, we want somebody that has looked at marketing, at printing, at swag, at t-shirts, at car wraps, at steaks, at direct mail specifically. So we're leveraging keywords and search phrases and pairing those with the locations that we're in to kind of create an audience that focuses on our product. We're going to deliver ads on YouTube. You don't have to have these things be crazy overproduced, but for someone to view one of your ads on YouTube, they have to go to YouTube, they have to go to your page, they have to physically make sure that they're reacting to you. We're going to take something that you've already created and we're going to force it in as an ad on a video that they're already watching. Every one of you that's ever been on YouTube has watched a video and you've got to wait through those ads. We want to make you be those ads that the people have to watch before they're going through to their video. These demand gen ads, these are really, really cool. These get some of the highest click-through of any digital technology I've ever seen. They don't necessarily look like ads, and they're going to show up in 3 different places. They're going to show up in your Gmail inbox. We do not need emails for these things to get displayed. These are forced ads that show up in your Gmail. I'm sure everybody that's got a Gmail account has seen these. These are clickable ads. They're really, really effective. They're going to show up on your Google homepage while you're scrolling through news stories. Very, very clickable ads. And then we're going to take advantage of YouTube again. There'll be still shots or banner ads on a YouTube video. And then after that, we're going to do a really enhanced geo-targeting campaign on Google and social media. We're going to find all of those relevant devices. This is the 3rd time we're going to leverage social media. Like I said, the first one is exclusive to the list. The second one is going to be exclusive to people that have visited your website. This 3rd one, it's a little more vague. We want people that are exclusive to your particular vertical. So that's how a plus campaign is going to work. We're going to leverage a relevancy score and a geographic location to get your images in front of even more people. Now, if the exact opposite, I'm going to touch on target match really, really briefly. I want to make sure that we leave enough time for questions. Target match is the exact opposite of a plus campaign. It is 100% mail list exclusive. We will not display an image to anybody that is not on your mailing list. And it's really, really cool. I'm going to show you how. But the first 5 technologies we talked about, social match, you have to be on the list to get these things displayed. Have to be on the list to get mail tracking, scan that QR code, to get an informed delivery or to call the number. We are going to add on what we call addressable geo-fencing on top of that campaign. And there's a huge difference between geo-targeting, what I just talked about, and geo-fencing. Geo-targeting, you're putting a pin in a zip code, you're drawing a circle around it. That circle could be a mile, it could be 5 miles around, but we're looking for all of the devices that are inside of this circle. With addressable geo-fencing, we're putting a pin on an individual household, and the circle that we draw around it is only 200 feet around. We are only looking for devices that are inside of our extremely micro-targeted area. So you would literally see a different set of ads than your immediate next-door neighbor would. I like to use higher education as my best example for this, where you have a private college, and it's a higher end private college where you know that your target audience needs to make more than $500,000 a year. They need you to have school age children in the house, and they need to live in a certain area. If the other people that are on the block don't meet that criteria, those are wasted impressions. So we're only going to be displaying images to people that are within that specific realm. We're leveraging actual verified GPS data to get that out there. I've got some case studies that are on the back end of this. We are going to share the deck with everybody that's on here. But the average website conversions, they hover around, I don't know, 2 to 4%. But 96% of marketing respondents are going to leave your website before they're going to take an action. That's why making sure that we're following up, identifying people that have been on your website is crucially important to getting more display ads to them, identifying their digital footprint, identifying their home footprint to make sure that we can follow up with them and get in front of them more often is going to be really, really crucial. Marketing campaigns that use direct mail and one or more digital aspect have experienced an exponential lift in responses on top of just a standard direct mail campaign. If you're using 3 or more channels, we're getting an even higher result. So the goal is to just making sure that we're combining everything, making sure that we're doing things on a consistent basis. Now, one of the things that sets us apart from a lot of marketing agencies. I'm not trying to replace any of the digital marketing that you're already doing. I want you to continue on with your normal marketing scheme, absolutely 100% way that you are currently doing it. I don't want to replace your Facebook advertising if you're already doing it. I don't want to replace your Google. Our goal is to recreate that mail piece and make sure that we're getting it in front of people in as many places as possible and keep it concise to the mail piece. One of the things that sets us apart is we are going to provide you with a dashboard where you don't have to go log in and get complicated spreadsheets to understand how well your campaign is doing. I'm going to show you on a really easy to view and function dashboard. This is an actual campaign that we sent out here recently. This is one that we ran for a nonprofit that was, when did we send this out? It was in November. It was just a couple of months ago. We mailed out 1,507 mail pieces. Now, the coolest thing about that, I said earlier, QR code scans are hugely, hugely important to our marketing efforts. You have to take a purposeful action to be able to scan a QR code. We got 114 QR code scans on only 1,500 mail pieces. That means that 7.5% of that mailing list directly interacted and scanned that QR code. And that's just one of the technologies. We got a 26% engagement rate on this campaign. And like I said, I'd love to share with you a little bit more if you're interested in learning. Brand United, this is a huge, huge marketing company. It's a market research where they're studying the trends of how well marketing is working across so many different platforms. And it's giving us the stats on how well you should leverage multiple channels. That it's never enough to just do one channel. We need to make sure that we're leveraging things and keeping up with the trend. We need to get a lift in our technology. Last thing, this is a nonprofit fundraiser that we also did. This one was a little bit longer ago. This was back in 2013. We were looking to gain both new donors. We were looking to get first-time donors, and we were looking to convert lapsed donors to get them to come back and start donating to us again. And it was a 12-month-long campaign. It was running for an entire year back in 2023. They just blew their expectations out of the water. They increased their monthly donors by 78%. That's one of those things that a nonprofit are always trying to get someone to do, is they're trying to get them to click that little button when you're donating to make it a monthly reoccurring donation, not just a one-time thing. Yes, we love getting $1,000, $2,000 in one big chunk, but if somebody can only do $10, but they can do it every single month and it just comes out of their account like clockwork, that is a really good secondary goal for a nonprofit to be able to do. They increase their monthly donors by 78%. So capitalizing on our direct mail campaigns, leveraging our list, leveraging our data input, and making sure that we know who it is that we're reaching out to, and finding ways to layer on extra components is only going to make our mail campaigns work better for you, and our businesses can grow together at the same time. I don't have like a really fun segue or like a way to finish my presentations. My presentation is over. I'd be happy to answer questions. Lorenzo, I wasn't monitoring the chat box or the Q&A. So do we have questions? What's up?
I don't see anything in the chat box, but a couple of my people said it wasn't working. So that may be the case.
All right. We got the Q&A box. Oops.
You got some stuff in there.
Where do the leads come from? The leads from the lead match pixel, those are literally coming from your device. So we are leveraging autofill capabilities on the back end of your phone. So you order a pizza and it says, you start typing in your address and then it auto populates your address into the delivery form. We are leveraging that autofill technology. We are also layering that on with an IP address and a device ID, and then we're kind of swirling those things together to make sure that we have a potential match and making sure that that device ID matches that address and the IP address. If we have a 95% likelihood that we've identified that address correctly, then we are going to be able to provide it back to you. So we're leveraging really simple autofill technology to make sure that we're getting in front of people. How does social media connect to the mailing list? I don't want to say magic, but basically, there's only two real things that we need to connect social media to your mailing list. I need a first name and a last name, and I need a city. You have that information. It's publicly available in about 94% of social media profiles in the United States right now. So if we upload, I mean, how many Lorenzo Lasseters are there that are going to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth kind of Texas area? I'm looking for Lorenzo Lasseter, and I'm looking for kind of the city that you're living in to create a reach to make sure that we're identifying with people correctly. If there are an email phone number, if there's an email that's associated with the mailing list, that makes it even more comprehensive. But the thing is we're never going to actually know the individuals that we're connecting with. They take our mailing lists and then they scramble it up into indecipherable code. Each line on the mailing list is about 150 characters, and then they kind of scramble it, they delete the mailing list, and then they give us a reach rate on who we're actually matching up with. How long will a phone number and a QR code stay active? That is a double prong question. Now, a phone number will stay active for technically the 30 days that we have the campaign running. If you want to keep it active indefinitely, there is a small charge to have what we call a maintenance package, so we can keep the phone number active for as long as you want, so that it's not just existing out there in nowhere. QR codes, we'll never shut the QR codes off. Like once a QR code exists and you scan it, as long as your website is active, the QR code will stay active. But if we don't have an active campaign, if it's not still mailing and we're past that 30-day and we haven't extended a campaign, we will have to eventually stop reporting the scans to that QR code on the dashboard. So the QR code will never shut off. It will always go through to that unique pass-through as long as your website is active. Of the standard 8 technologies, which have I seen have the greatest impact on a call to action? On a call to action. Well, I mean, as far as our click-throughs and as far as the things that we get engagements on, I find the social media follow-up to be one of the more valuable ones that we're going to do. The mail tracking is exponentially the mail piece itself is the most important key element to this. So tracking that mail from point A to point B, getting the confirmations, that is super, super crucial to make sure that we know that things are getting done correctly. The social media follow-up, since it's kind of they can't see those displays unless they've been to your website. So they're familiar with your business. They're familiar with who it is what it is that you do. Those are really, really important engagements. On a larger mailing list, if we're in the 5, 10, 15,000 piece mailing campaign, I find informed delivery to be one of the most important parts. Making sure that, being list specific, knowing exactly who we are reaching, those are really, really important aspects of it. Are we able to connect emails you find and add to our mailing list? Is this on the dashboard? Emails are kind of a secondary thing. When I was talking about the addresses that I'm collecting, those are physical addresses. That's all I'm legally allowed. Physical addresses is a public information. There's nothing that is illegal or against any data privacy laws for collecting a physical address. But capturing emails off of the back end of a website, that gets into a little bit of a sticky wicket. So we are starting with the mailing address. Now, that being said, once we have that mailing address, what we do with it, once we possess and own that mailing address, what you decide to do with it is kind of up to you. And we have what are called data appenders. We can take that physical mailing address, we can append it against a database. We can get names, we can get phone numbers, we can get email addresses, we can get a lot of things. I can tell you what kind of car they drive and who they voted for in a lot of circumstances, depending on kind of where we're getting the info from. It will be on the dashboard. They're not viewable though until we actually download them. That's a bit more of a long conversation that we'd be happy to kind of readdress and get back together. That is all of the questions in the Q&A. Lorenzo, did I miss anything? Do you have anything that you want to add?
No, I think it was a great overview, and I appreciate it. And to all of you who are here, I know that there's a lot to absorb there. So if you'd be interested in having a follow-up more specific to your particular needs, your particular marketing scheme, we'd be happy to revisit that again. Again, when I first saw it, and I assume you have a little bit of this impression, you're just like, wow, how are these things possible? And I think it's really kind of an exciting breakthrough as direct mail evolves and marketing evolves in general. We all who are in the marketing business know how hard it is to reach your customers now. Everything is so fragmented. It's so hard to reach directly to your people. And this combination of social media and direct mail and Google Ads and all these different things really is a pretty powerful tool for reaching the people you need to reach, and we're doing that repeatedly. So I think it's exciting technology. Again, I really want to thank Andy for the great explanation. Did we get one more question just pop up?
Did we?
No, my thing just moved for some reason. So you said this will be available, right? We'll send this out. And again, if
Yeah.
anybody,
Matter of fact, I'm going to stop the recording right now.
yeah.